I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right.
G'day guys, Tiny here from Offtap Brewing. Just enjoying a light beer. This is a beer that I brewed on my Tiny Brewer brew night. A fantastic beer, 3.2%. Fantastic beer. Mosaic and Amarillo. The next time I brew this, Tarch Cascade, something along the citrus side. I want to stay away from putting Citra in. When I said Citra before, I meant citrus. Something on the citrus side. There's enough melon in there. It is absolutely awesome. And I have a Calypso brew on, a Calypso Smash. Well, double malt, single hop beer on. Fantastic. Low gravity. Fantastic. Yeah, but that isn't the topic of this video. This video, I sort of want to just turn on, have a beer with you guys, shoot the shit, and ask you a question. Are you guilty of, the wild goose chase? Are you guilty of chasing wild geese when you're brewing? Are you guilty of that phantom problem that you can't find? I'll explain it a bit better. Say you got your brewing style and you got your brewing technique, and it's working for this beer, it's working for the next beer, the next beer, the next beer, the next beer, and you're up to your 8th beer and you're brewing the exact same way, everything's going phenomenally well. All of a sudden, tastes like shite, tastes like absolute crap. Are you cutting corners? Like where do you look for your problem? The last 10 brews, the last 5 or 6 brews or whatever, you've got exactly the same every single time. Your technique is absolutely flawless. It's worked 6 out of 7 times. But you can't work out. You're scratching your head. Why does this beer taste like shit? I did everything the same as I did before and before and before. Why does it taste like shit? Oh, I mustn't have sanitized. No, I sanitized. I used boiling water, I used Star San, I used scrubbing brush, I used whatever. Oh, maybe my yeast was off. No, I bought fresh yeast, I know that. Maybe my grain was bad. Maybe, I don't know. You don't know. You're scratching your head as why. But, to explain where my question and my ramble is coming from, is Bubbles and Chalk went to the Mount Tambourine Brewery and we had a sit down with the brewer up there, Michael, and fantastic chat, sit down and have a brewer who's been working in the industry for over 6 years, worked at Burley Brewing and Fortitude Brewing, creating some fantastic beers, knows his stuff, and dedicate his time, 3 hours solid, just talking to 7 members of Bubbles and Chalk. It was fantastic, and he's invited us up again and wants to come around for a brew day and tasted my beers and gave me raving reviews. Oh, head swell. It was fantastic. But some of the things he was saying really sort of put my head into motion thinking about it. Basically, am I cutting corners with my brewing? I am guilty of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 brews and then one shitty one. I'm guilty of 1, 2, 3 really good beers and one shitty one. It's just a random pop-up of events of a shitty beer. It just pops up, you get one, boom, there it is. Fuck, what happened? And you just don't know where that came from. Where that bad flavour came from. What happened? Everything's right. It worked the time before. It worked the time before that. It worked the time before that. It's worked for 6 months now, every time I've brewed. All of a sudden, after doing everything exactly the same way, I've got a really bad beer. I don't actually. I'm drinking a fantastic beer. It's yummy. It smells fantastic. But yeah, all of a sudden I've got this bad beer and my technique is flawless. But guys, is your technique flawless? Are you guilty of cutting so many corners that you've dropped your brewing time down to 30 minutes, it's worked the last 3 or 4 times, so yeah, it's got to work, it's got to continue that, it's got to always work. Are you, pitching in this way, your yeast? Are you chilling in this way? Are you doing this way? Are you cutting corners? Are you doing things that, you know, all the books and all the literature and all the research you've done says, you know, this is not what you do. Are you just flying under that bar? Are your beers just making it over that bar to taste good? You know, 5, 6 brews, 7, boom, and it just went under and you don't know what happened. Because if you cut corners, guys, there are certain things that we can't really cut corners on. Yeah, they may work once, they may work twice, they may work 15 times. Eventually, you're not going to fly under that radar and you're not going to understand why your beer went bad. There are certain rules and certain reasons why we do things in brewing. And I, for one, have stood back, looked at my technique, even though the judge, he's a beer judge as well, he just judged the Queensland Brewers, blah, 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 and when he judged my beers, he said, these would have got gold medal, but they're a bit flat. And I said, yeah, I just poured them off a tap. Before I came, I just wasn't, you know, just, yeah, try this is what we do. Apart from the carbonation, he said silver medal. If you get anything under silver medal for these, you enter them in a competition. I would eat my hat. I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, awesome shit for me. But I know in my brewing, I know exactly where I'm cutting corners, and it's not in my boil. I boil for a minimum of 60 minutes. And as Michael suggested, 60 minutes is a bare minimum. You'd be flying under the bar, flying just over the bar with 60 minutes, especially if you're using Pilsner grain, that sort of stuff, with, you know, a lot of chances of developing DMS or not getting DMS out. You know, so I never do under you know 60 minutes of my boil. Sometimes I go over, sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours. This weekend we're planning on doing a boil for the big beer weekend. We're planning on boiling for a lot of hours, probably 8-10 hours. We've got a lot of work to get through. Basically, you know, different story, other video for that, but we've got a lot of boiling to do. So there'll be no problem with DMS in this brew on Saturday. But, you know, looking at my brewing practices and, you know, after sitting down and chatting with him, 100% of the off flavours I'm getting every now and then in my beers is through poor yeast management, poor yeast pitching, and lack of aerating, lack of adequate aerating. I do tip my speed kits into the fermenter, which is barely enough, gets you by, but there are other better ways. I do have those other better ways and should really use them. And I do. I have been for the last 4 or 5 brews, and flawless brewing, you know. But just my big thing is under pitching yeast. I'll just add a packet and be done with it. You know, if it's a double batch, I'll add 2 packets. Sometimes if I've got enough yeast in the fridge, I'll add 2 packets of dry to a single batch. You know, and it's that lag time for that yeast to rehydrate with sugary water and then to go to work. It's that lag time. You really want your yeast, as you said to me, you really want your yeast active straight away, hitting the ground running. You need a yeast starter. Do one the day before, 2 days before, pitch your yeast at high Kreuzen, and it's ready to go. It's ready to go. You don't even have to build it up. As long as it's ready to go and it hits that wort, boom, you're going to create a fantastic beer. You're going to have enough life in it, and it's going to go. You're not going to have time for it to get bacterial infections or anything like that. And I went, yep, no worries. Well, I was thinking that was my problem. Every time I sort of came across a bad beer, I thought about my brewing and what I'd done, and it was either sanitization or my yeast pitching. And to be honest, guys, pulling your fermenters apart, scrubbing them out, rinsing them with, soaking them in nappy sand, and then soaking them in boiling water for 10 minutes before I before I tip my wort in there, is pretty good. It's pretty clean. So I can strike that off my list. So chasing wild geese over my poor yeast practices, boom, nail on the head. You know, I've put that into action over the last 4 or 5 brews, and they've been absolutely fantastic beers. So yeah, my question to you, or my rambling, I'd like to, have you guys sit back and think about your brewing practices. Are you cutting corners? Are you getting every now and then a brew that just isn't right for some reason and you can't put your finger on it? Guys, just go back and consider your brewing practices. Go back to a beginner's book and read the basics of brewing, the things that we really have to adhere to. We can't cut corners. There's certain things we can't cut corners on, I feel, in my opinion. And aeration, yeast pitching, sanitization, boil times, and mash temperatures are those things. Mash pH, that's an efficiency problem. It's not really, that's something you play around with later. But those are my main things that I consider are our brewing rules. Once you start getting your technique down better, then you start, mash pHing and getting right into it. But guys, consider it. Just think about your brewing practice. Are you cutting too many corners? Are you getting that one brew every now and then that just isn't right? The one that just doesn't go over the bar, it just goes under, and you just have no idea why. It's been on my mind since that brew day up there, the tour at the brewery. And guys, just thought I'd share it with you. Just ramble on, have a sip of tea, sip of beer. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. I've taken up too much of your time already. But please think about it. If you're as guilty as what I am in some areas, then maybe look at those as a problem. Go back and redevelop your technique, I think, and I'm really going to do that. I've got a lot of time on my hands. I'm not drinking as much beer. I'm brewing a lower percentage beer these days, which, that is fantastic. That is a fantastic beer, and I've got a really good idea. I might shoot another video, just putting it out there, and then I'll actually might put that into action this weekend while we're brewing. I might do a side-by-side brew on the tiny brewer again, and that'll be awesome. But so I've got a lot of time to think these days instead of just pumping brew out, brew after brew after brew. Guys, alright, that's enough. That's it, my ramble's over. Guys, thanks for your kind words. Thanks for your support, the brewer. Thanks for your thumbs up. Thanks to those of you that thumbs down the video, because it means I've touched you somewhere, somehow. And remember, beer makes you smarter.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right.